Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is your Photo News Fix. This fix is brought to you by this orange box. Now, this box does two things. Signs you up for my email list, but also gives you a free guide to capturing motion in low light situations. My goal with the email list is to give you a weekly update of all things going on that are Fro, but also serve you solid content and videos from the Frochives. If you'd like to sign up, head on over to FroKnowsPhoto.com, look for this orange box, put your name, email address in it, hit send it, and I'm gonna send you that guide for free and get you signed up for my email list. First up, in an article on Petapixel titled, "Photographer Has Camera Bag with $10,000 of Gear Stolen Overnight," should have really been titled, hashtag don't be an asshole, AKA don't leave your shit in your car.
That was harsh.
Now, it's been a while since I broke out that slogan, but it's time to break it out once again, thanks to photographer Levi Walk, who left his gear in his car overnight, only to have it stolen. But Jared, you're blaming the victim and not the thief. You're damn right I'm blaming the victim. They left their gear in the car overnight, and that's unacceptable. Now, please understand, I feel horrible that Levi has to deal with having their livelihood stolen, or his livelihood stolen. But it's important that we learn from his strife. The camera bag included bodies and lenses, but most notably SD cards. And I quote, "We do weddings and graduations and all of that stuff, and that was on those SD cards." Like, that's really what we're worried about. I'm sorry, without sounding too much like a dick, I mean, I'm a dick, but if you have multiple shoots on your cards, in the camera, in your bag that have not been backed up, that's a major problem waiting to happen. There's no sugarcoating this. This isn't about hurting feelings, but you have to be smarter. This is a teachable moment. Hashtag don't be an asshole. Don't leave your gear in the car, and for God's sakes, don't have multiple shoots on the cards that aren't backed up yet, ever. Whether you leave them in your car or not, like, do a shoot. Oh, hey, that's what I wrote. I wrote that right here. Do a shoot, back that shit up, period. End of story. I should read the script every once in a while. Damn it. Next up, according to Bloomberg, and as seen on Petapixel, Sony might spin off its imaging sensor business into its own standalone company as soon as this year. Bloomberg said Sony could retain a minority stake in Sony Semiconductor Solutions following any spin-off. Let me check. Yep, that would make sense, being it's called Sony Semiconductor Solutions, that they would keep a stake. This business could be valued as much as 7 trillion yen, or roughly 49 billion US dollars. That's a lot of quiche, but this isn't a done deal as of yet. Sony replied with, and I quote, "The article is based on speculation, and there are no such specific plans." Now, we've heard that before from companies deny, and then announce that it was...
It's all true.
Now, there's no doubt Sony has crushed the semiconductor market and will continue to do so, whether it's wholly owned by Sony or spun off. And just because it's spun off doesn't mean Sony won't benefit from it. We've seen it time and time again where companies spin off parts of their business and it turns out to be extremely profitable all the way around.
Blue Horseshoe loves Anaconda steel.
Sony makes not just sensors for their own cameras, but cell phone cameras and even sensors and cameras for cars. In my opinion, they're in one of the strongest positions possible for success into the future. What do you think? Will Sony spin this off? I mean, does it matter to any of us? I mean, we don't have control over it anyway. And finally, Canon has announced a new lens globally. And by globally, I mean everywhere but in the United States. But more on that in just a minute. The lens? Well, it's the RF 75-300 f4 to 5.6 non-IS. It's super cheap, super stripped down zoom lens that is basically a rehoused 75-300 EF that was released when I was graduating high school and still a virgin. Yeah, in 1999. But not anymore. I'm not a 40-year-old virgin. Well, I'm 44, but still not a virgin. Well, With dudes, that is. Wait, did that sound right? Wait.
Just to clarify.
No, I f***ed that one up. Now, Canon has put out more affordable RF lenses in the past, like the 600 and 800 f11 and the RF 100 to 400, but this is a new level of cheap. I mean, affordable.
Good catch.
Since this lens was not announced in the US, the only pricing we can go by is what I found from a UK retailer called Wilkinson's Camera. Wilson! No, Tom. Not Wilson.
Wilkinson.
Yeah, it's close, I know, but not the same thing. They have the lens priced at 298 pounds, which is, well, a lot heavier than me, which roughly translates to $390 US. This is the type of lens that an R100 user would get and be very happy with, even though it appears to be using an ancient design that lacks stabilization. I say that because some people just want a lens that lets them get little Jack and Jill. Oh! They just want to get Jack and Jill running around the playing field, and quality isn't much of a concern. I mean, they mostly have their cameras set to auto anyway. But something weird is that this lens uses what Canon calls a DC motor. Now, we're still waiting on word on what that actually means, and since it wasn't announced in the US, Canon USA, the PR people, had little to no information to share with us. And when I mean little to none, it was nothing! Hey, this lens is coming out around the world and we can't tell you anything else about it, but we just wanted to let you know that it was coming. One can only assume the reason this wasn't announced in the US is due to Trump's tariffs on China-made products, and Canon is trying to figure out how much the added tax will be on the end consumer. Look, this is not going to be the greatest lens since sliced bread. It's just going to be a basic bitch lens that's hopefully going to be pretty damn cheap. And there you have it. That's your photo news fix this time around. Thank you very much for watching. Jared Polin, PhotoPhoto.com. See ya.